with a bunch of awesome people, a lot of awesome people. We started Ubi, which is a completely new kind of business model designed to revive local food. Look, there's more people who helped out, and the name is it, but this is certainly a great effort, team effort. Ubi is basically like an online farmers market. It's probably the easiest way to explain it, or online local foods by buyers club. You can buy from a variety of local vendors, growers, and local commercial producers as well, and have them all delivered onto your doorstep. In a single box. The hypothesis for this business model was that by pairing the high-tech supply chain solution with the short distance advantage of local food, we could make local food as affordable and convenient as industrial food. And plus, with the trend away from the going to the shopping experience, going to the store, buying the food, and more back to the old-fashioned way of having your food delivered to your doorsteps, because local food doesn't have all the retail infrastructure, all the rent and everything to pay. It might be actually be far behind enough to be ahead. So here's how it works. You've ordered food on ubi.org, and the growers basically pick the order and deliver to the Ruby hub, and then it's packed and delivered to your doors, all in one full motion. Okay, and the secret source of the UB model basically comes down to the supply chain. So additional supply chain. You, the grower, grows the food, then sells it and transports it into the wholesaler. The wholesaler then holds onto the food until the sales and transport to the retailers. Retailers hold onto the food until you transport yourself to retail and pick the food and transport it back home. In that scenario, around 70% of the value of the food is actually supply chain cost, and it grows, getting about a third, which is only really just enough to scrape by. International supply chain, on the other hand, are more like 5 or more links, where over 80% of the value of the food is actually supply chain cost, and the original grower or producer is getting less than 1/5 of the retail value, and only large operations can really afford those margins. Whereas with the same day to link supply chain that we were thinking about, the grower would be able to get half of the retail value, and the customer wouldn't have to pay any more than they normally pay, because we could pretty much cut out up to 30% the cost of the supply chain, so everyone's better off. So great theory, but it would actually work? Well, like crazy entrepreneurs we are, we just jumped in and start doing it. We've never developed over 25,000 boxes to over 1,400 doorsteps around Auckland, and we've got a prototype that we feel works. It does works. And in the last 18 months, we've been tracking our prices, and we've been on par with the supermarket and retail prices. The in-store sticker prices and our prices are delivered to your doors. So when you take into account that the products delivered to your doors are actually making a bit of saving, and everyone's getting paid above market rates. We do sometimes supplement our boxes from the markets when the sales are growers, but we always buy it directly, often as possible, and it's great for our growers. Bill and Marilyn had been trying to keep their business alive for a long time, and the roadside stall was great, but it really didn't scratch the surface. Going to the farmers market is good, and it meant losing your weekends, and it didn't sell enough food. They had lost a waste of a lot of cafes, buy little buys co-ops, organic shops, great, but after running around, not worthwhile. And it also works for our distribution team. On only as little as three customers on a space of garage or shipping container, this is a very viable business where everyone gets paid a good rate for work. Today, this is our customer spread around Auckland, and we just delivered our first box in Sydney, and we're adopting. We're looking at new cities around the world at the moment. We are with Ruby. we are adopting a food commons model that is collectively owned by the participants that are involved, including customers, growers, all sorts of different participants. So there's no fear being taken on some private agenda. We are playing a very small part in a global food renaissance that's happening around the world right now. From local food renaissance, it's happening around the world right now. Our job is to connect with all the local food leaders around the world and work together and piece together a full comprehensive grocery solution that makes local food the obvious choice for everyone. But the thing that's best about it is that the solution is actually something we all love to do anyway. And that is sit around the table with our loved ones and the people we care about, sharing a meal made from food that we can trust and connect with. So it's good for you, it's good for your family, it's good for the world. So let's eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we thrive.